Well, it's a huge step forward in the process of being able to prepare ourselves for ratification. Remember, I've had two relevant cabinets. The cabinet in the period from 2019 to 20 and 23, and now for the cabinet from 2023 to now, to 2026. So we've been able to take the relevant cabinet through the detail of what the text now says, literally the detail, word for word. We have read the whole of the text of the UK version, the UK Gibraltar version of the text at the end of the negotiation.
You say the UK Gibraltar version, you mean in terms of language, right?
Well, no, in terms of the text, when there are two negotiating parties and you're negotiating a contract, you're working on the text, you're both keeping the changes that you're agreeing, you're then going away and putting those changes in and seeing it as you think is the case. You then need to marry that up to the other side to make sure that the contract says the same thing. But you've got one document, it's passing between parties. Different parties might think it means the change that you've agreed at the table might mean different things in the context of the text itself. So the UK Gibraltar text, the unscrubbed version as it was at the end of the negotiation, is what we have been through. The EU scrub is one part of the work that is being done now. The UK Gibraltar scrub is the other part. What does the scrub do? The scrub picks up any obvious mistakes. Sometimes the language just goes a bit ski-whiff because you're discussing something and you use one terminology. You forget that 2 years and 6 months ago you discussed something very similar in another chapter and you use slightly different terminology. So the important thing is that the context and the detail has now been gone through by the Gibraltar Cabinet. That means that all of Gibraltar's ministers, in particular, the Deputy Chief Minister, Sergio Bossano, as well, have been looking at this because they have an important, I think, constituency of people looking to what they think of these issues and have approved it. We can go to the Parliament and we can ask the Parliament to agree with us that we should resolve, as a House of Parliament in Gibraltar, that the United Kingdom should ratify the treaty.
Now, with respect to your cabinet, they are not all possessing the legal competence required to be able to fully appreciate a complicated international treaty. Is that fair?
It's fair of my cabinet and of every single cabinet in the world, because a cabinet is made up of people with different skill sets. Even I would not want a cabinet of 10 lawyers. We'd never stop arguing and we'd never finish the meetings. So there are people there who've been teachers, there are people there who have different qualifications, you've got accountants, etc. So that's why we had the Attorney General there. The Attorney General took us all through the text. I did some of the guiding through the text. The Deputy Chief Minister did some of the guiding through the text. And indeed, Sergio Bossano did some of the guiding through the text, because he's really been very hands-on on the issue of frontier workers' rights, etc., because employment is an issue on which he is very well qualified. Not many people know, but Sergio has a master's in employment law. And so those issues are important. We all went through that together. And indeed, I think that we all contribute a lot. Pat Fila, for example, is very concerned about issues relating to housing, which are issues which under the EU treaties frontier workers have. They don't have rights to housing under our agreement. So everybody's got skin in the game in respect of the ministerial responsibilities that they have. It was a very convivial discussion about areas affecting different areas of responsibility, ministerial responsibility. The Attorney General explained how those different things would work in the future. There's going to be some changes of the structure of things, but no change in substance in many things. And so, of course, we had to explain to each other the things that mattered to each in each area of ministerial responsibility.